Welcome to Monday, the 18th of March, 2024. My name is Jimmy Bradbury. I help entrepreneurially minded people who are ready to quit a 9-to-5 job, be able to build an online business that gives them more freedom than ever they could imagine in their lives. And I've been doing this now for the last 5, maybe getting on now for 6 years, building an online business and also coaching people on how they can do that too. But one of the joys about where I am in my business now today is because, I've got programs in place, and particularly the online courses where it is earning for me 24/7. I'm able to take a step back and do the things that I'm really passionate about, rather than to constantly be chasing, the grind that we have and the hustle that we have. And I experienced that early on, but I don't have that so much now. Now I can do the things that I really want to do, which is one of them is writing a book. So I'm writing my very first book about the journey that I've had from leaving a 9-to-5 job, being able to build an online business that I got it today, and helping other people do the same all around the world. And there's one chapter in it called The Drift Years. So the drift years for me are a period of 6 years when I came out of a 9-to-5 job and I had some businesses of my own. I had a restaurant, I had a live music bar, I had a consultancy business, I had a publication business. They were all businesses I owned. So coming out of a 9-to-5, I had some businesses I owned, but in all of them, there was a common denominator, which is I was trading my time for money. You had to be there, or you had to have staff there, but it wasn't like what it is today. And then I got into the online space in 2018. And then after a period of probably about a year when things were really challenging, things really began to get going. So I've got a story and I've got that message, and that whole period of the drift years were really a bit of a mess for me, if I'm honest with you, because I wasn't really clear about what it is I wanted to do. And the good thing, that mess that I went through has become my message, is that people don't have to spend the 6 years like I spent trying to figure it all out, what it is you wanted to do. But now when people come into my program, certainly if you're still in a 9-to-5 job and you're looking to get out of it at a point in the future, you want to build an online business that gives you more freedom. You don't have to spend 6 years doing it. In fact, in my program, I take people through it over a period of 6 months, from actually making that decision to leave to actually being online and making revenue. So that's kind of set the context. But the bigger picture that I wanted to share with you today, 3 insights that I know that can help people who are seriously considering wanting to leave their 9-to-5 job, or like in my 6 months, maybe it's a business you own, because not only was I in a 9-to-5 job, I had businesses I owned. So I'm also helping people like that today who want to have more freedom in their life and they don't want to be trading their time for money. So if you're in one of those 2 categories, a 9-to-5 job or a business you own, where you're trading your time for money, your fee, a paycheck, a salary, and you want to build more freedom in your life by having an online business, doing something you're really passionate about, then I'm the guy that can help you. But I'm not pitching for that today. I'm just sharing that message to give you context. Okay, so the first thing I really learned was, out of that whole journey, is that when I was leaving a 9-to-5 job, it's something I wanted to do, but and it's maybe you'd say it's quite naive, and you're probably right. I didn't actually have a real plan in place of how that was actually going to happen. So I started drifting at the beginning. But the other thing I didn't have, which I look back on it now, and really I should have had, which was a mentor and a coach. And it was only when I got that mentor and coach that they were able to show me the path, the plan, how you could implement the plan on a path that actually works. And I always suggest to people now that if you are looking to leave a 9-to-5 job, make sure you have a plan, and make sure you have somebody who will guide you along the path. Now, the guidance could be a mentor, it could be a coach, it could be a trainer, but I would suggest preferably get somebody who's only 1 or 2 years ahead of you, that's on exactly or very close to the same path that you want to be on. That's super clear. I know sometimes we get coaches and mentors and they're kind of like 10, 15 years ahead of us. And sometimes that's just too far away. the circumstances that was relevant to them when they were in the same position as you 10, 15 years ago may not necessarily be the same. So I always advise get somebody who's maybe 1 or 2 or 3 years just ahead of where it is you want to get to. So that's number one. Have a plan, get guidance, mentor, coach, trainer, but somebody who's on the same path or similar and who's 2 or 3 years ahead of you. That's number one. Number two, and I spoke about this last week because I believe it's the first step that you make in a lot of things you do in life, and particularly when you're building an online business, but also when you're leaving a 9-to-5 or a business you own. Why are you doing it? And be really honest with yourself why it is you want to do it. So that's number two. Number three is when you do get into a position of having the plan and you do have the mentor, you do have the trainer, you do have the guide, implement like crazy. Absolutely implement like absolute crazy. So important. And do it and be consistent. Now, this is a word I use all of the time because it is a word that is so important in the online space. 99% of people that are online today are not consistent. And the reason why they're not successful is because, not because they don't have a great message to share, not because they don't have a great program, it's because they're not consistent. And the bad news is that we as humans are not wired to be consistent. So we have to learn that skill. We have to master that skill. And when we do, then this whole space, particularly in the online, becomes a lot easier. But just think about anything you do. If you're consistently doing it, you become better at it, whether it is you want to lose weight and become fitter, whether it is sport, whatever it might be. It is important to be absolutely consistent, because when you're consistent, then it is going to help you get through the difficult times. So really important to be consistent. So those are the three things I've learned in that lesson of my mess becoming my message. Number one, plan and get a guide, a coach, a mentor, a trainer. Invest in that from the very beginning and get somebody who preferably is 1 or 2 steps ahead of you on the path that you want to go. Number two, make sure you're clear on your why. Why do you want to do this? Whatever it is you want to do. And number three, make sure that when you do get the plan and you do get the accountability through a trainer and a guide and a coach, make sure that you implement like absolute crazy and do it consistently. And if you do all three of those, you're going to be well on the path to actually creating that online business that you want and move out of a 9-to-5 job and move out of a business that you own where you're trading your time for money and have what we all want in life is more freedom. So hopefully that's been helpful for you today. I just wanted to share that because I've got the luxury now of being able to have the time, the freedom to be able to write my own book, which is something I've always wanted to do, so that I can share even beyond my courses and programs what it is I've been through over the last 6 years that can help other people who are in the same position, who want to leave a 9-to-5 job or who want to leave a business they own and build more freedom into their life with an online business. Hopefully that's been helpful for you today. Again, a lot of people have been asking me for this, is that if you're on LinkedIn and you love the platform like I love it, a lot of people are not using it properly. And the reason why they're not using it properly is because they haven't set up their profile correctly. I have a 1-page LinkedIn profile audit, and I'll put it down below here as a link in the comments where you can download it for free, and it gets you through 11 things. And if you get those 11 things in play, then you've got your profile optimized and it gives you the basis of a good start on LinkedIn. So hopefully that will be helpful for you today, as well as I said, put it in the comments below. Wherever you are on this Monday, have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.